Welcome folks, this is the first video of the new series that I'm going to be doing about UK native trees and shrubs, and I'm going to be basing these videos on this book here, the bonsai book that I got many years ago. It's Bonsais from Native Trees and Shrubs. Now this book was first published in Germany, so it's like more European than British. And so therefore some of the trees in it are not quite native to the UK, but we'll see what we can do with making some kind of adjustment there. If you watched the introductory video, you would have seen me getting to page 49, and then on page 50 that's where the species guide starts. So without further ado, let's get to page 50. So here we are, page 50, and the very first tree is a field maple, and that's it there. The field maple is in this book is actually about 3 feet tall, and you can see with the leaves there. Would you believe that's 3 feet tall? It's hard to tell actually, but you know, when you know that, things make sense. It's got a lot going on in the trunk, beautiful bark and everything. And it's obviously going into its autumn colour. So let's have a wee look at the book. We'll see what the book's saying about field maples. So the field maple is called Acer campestre, and it is a UK native tree. It says here in the book, so most of us know as maples as a hedging plant, and it's rather unobtrusive in the wild and often overlooked. I know there's a few near me. It does talk about the relatively small leaves of the field maple here. The branches often have corky strips of bark along them. The bark in the trunk starts off smooth and later becomes tough and deeply patterned, which is actually lovely if you look at that picture there. It's really nice bark, and then it goes on about soil and the light and stuff like that. So we'll skip to this bit here, which is what has caused me been the most problematic for me when it comes to a field maple. Shaping of the Japanese forms, the broom style comes nearest to the natural habit of the field maple. Formal upright style is also suitable. Other styles are also quite acceptable. The tree has a stiff and gawky way of growing, and it is this that presents the most problems and necessitates particularly constant basic cultivation. This paragraph here. If you look right here, you'll see that the leaves are opposite, and then what happens is you get these opposite branches growing and you get bar branches, and then that becomes an issue later on. So pruning. So this has been the biggest issue with me with field maples. That, folks, is a field maple. Do I have field maples? And the answer is yes, I do. In fact, I have another one over there and another one. So I've actually got 3 field maples. So I did some work with these field maples earlier on in the year. I think I repotted them, gave them a root prune and a top prune. This one, I'll spin it around, as you can see, actually got a bit of a trunk chop right there in order to let this branch develop and become the new leader, and that'll come like that, and then hopefully that'll create some different shape like that. What I'd like to do now is jump over to my tablet screen and show you this Acer campestre over there, this field maple from Bonsai Direct channel. I'm just going to record the video itself but not the sound, because there's something I'd like you to take a wee look at. So if you can look at this Acer on the right hand side with the yellow leaves, that's the Acer campestre, that is the field maple. But as you can see, if you look at the trunk line on this field maple, you can see it's went up so far and it's had quite a bit of a trunk chop by the looks of it right there. Then it's shot off, and that off to the right, then another chunk chop probably, and off to the left, and then, you know, and then it's branching up into finer branches and then the apex of the tree. Now the problem with the Acer campestre, and it's a problem that I've been having as well. So I want to show you this book, because this is one of the problems I've been having with the Acer campestre. Is if you look at that illustration there, it's not it is an Acer, but it's not a field maple Acer. But you get the opposite branching and the opposite buds. After showing you that little picture in the book about the branching, what I want to show you is here in an actual tree. So if you can see this lower branch here, and if I bring it round a bit, you'll be able to see that there was also a branch there coming out at the same point. And then you had this branch here, and you also had a branch here where all these little buds are coming out. So again, you had the bar branches coming out. Now this one is just quite a straight tree with nothing much happening to it, on it, to be honest with you, but for that little bug right there. Two of them. Scale insects. If you see a scale insect, just squish it with your finger. So that's one of the problems, and so you had branches coming out and then branches coming out, and then you got branching, and then I'll show you further up the tree here. Right here again, you've got handlebar branches. But then I'm going to show you a different way to handle these things. You know, so the buds, you can see the buds are opposite each other, okay? So it looks like there's a bud there, it might have been nipped off early and another one's coming. But on this side a branch developed. So what I've done is to change direction. You can snip this off here, obviously take that branch off and keep this one. But if I'd have kept that bud might actually become a nice wee side branch at the bend. Okay, that bud there might end up becoming a nice little branch popping out there, and that'll be two branches, and then this will get wired up. Again, there'll be a snip further up somewhere, and it'll change direction and go back in this direction. The big problem I had was deciding what branches should go and what branches should stay, and that is one of the dilemmas. One of the big issues I think with field maples, it's quite hard to determine what branches should go and what branches should stay, especially for someone who's learning and a beginner like myself. Because yeah, you're always learning, never stop learning. You want to have branches sort of like alternating this way, that way, this way and that way. But when you've got a tree that grows in opposite, then you've got some serious decisions to make, and it's not always easy. So I'll show you my 3 Acer campestres, my field maples. This is one of them, it's the tallest of them so far. I took some time to try and select the right branches, branches for the tree. The top's has got potential, but I don't think it's going to be, this one I don't think it's going to make a fantastic bonsai. The second one I've got, it's got quite a nice little twist in the base there, which I didn't put in myself, that's just completely natural. Again, it's just a case of trying to make some selections. It just needs something to fill a bit of space here. That could probably, I'm seeing, I wonder if a branches here I could maybe come down to fill a bit of shade, but there is a bit of a gap here I didn't like. And I think the one that's got the most potential for me just now, again, natural little twist, I didn't put any twists in it at all, did it all itself, is probably this one here. And it's going to take some time for this to thicken up and become a natural sort of part of the trunk, the leader. Yeah, and then we can start selecting the next leader further on. So I think that one's got the most potential, the most interest going on in it. Just a quick check in this book. It says this small deciduous tree is the native European maple. In fact, it's the only native maple in the UK. It is less often grown as a bonsai than its Japanese relatives, but like other maples it's a good choice because of its pleasing leaf shape and the attractive colour of the autumn foliage. The style is suitable for all styles except literati. Medium to large sizes are preferred, but this tree can also be grown as an extra small bonsai. Important part here: position, grown in full sun for best salt and colouring, but protect from hottest summer sun to avoid leaf scorch. Extra small bonsais require frost protection. Watering daily throughout the growing season and sparingly in winter, but keep the soil evenly moist. Feeding every 2 weeks throughout the summer. Repotting every 2 to 3 years. Repot as buds swell, but before they open, use basic soil mix. Pruning. And this is an interesting bit because I'm always fascinated about pruning. The biggest question mark I've got is, what's the best way to prune a field maple? Trim back new shoots to 1 or 2 pairs of leaves throughout the growing season. Keep internodal distances short by ruthlessly trimming back long internodes. Leaf cut in midsummer to encourage smaller leaves and good autumn colour. Best time for wiring is immediately after leaf cutting. Propagation from seed in winter, from softwood cuttings in summer, by air layering in spring or summer. So there we go. But you can clearly see there that there would have been a maybe branch grown in the middle there that's been cut. How they're pruned makes a massive difference. And bar branches are, because they're so symmetrical, it's not that desirable in bonsai. So we prefer, in bonsai, we prefer a more asymmetrical shape to our trees in bonsai. Once again, this is my field maple. We've got some big leaves growing there, which I can cut just here, and then a new smaller leaf will grow. And so yeah, that's probably the best field maple out of the lot I've got, and this branch would get wired up and become the new leader and form the new trunk line. So native tree number 1 in the book, the first one in the book, field maple, Acer campestre, and this is my one here. So I hope you got some decent information from this video. Like I say, it's just this is the first video of this series, and I'm probably still trying to get the format squared off in my head about how the video should go. So forgive me if it's a bit here, there and everywhere. A bit higgledy-piggledy the video. Again, this is my favourite. I hope you got something out of the video. And this tree, and maybe the other two, will probably be going on to my bench over there. Like I said, I'll be putting them on my Native Trees and Shrubs bench just out there. It's raining again, so that's why I'm hiding in the shed, or I probably would have done the video outside. So if you liked this video, please subscribe, because there'll be more videos coming in the series. If you listen closer to the video, you would have heard what's on the next page. So it's actually written in the field maple page what the next tree is. And anyway, I hope you get something out of it. Definitely native to the UK. Acer campestre field maple. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, please give it a wee thumbs up, like it, subscribe to the channel, and that will help me along the way. And stay tuned for the next video in the series of the UK native trees and shrubs. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.